1, 2, test 1, 2. Okay, all right, I'm here. I'm right here. I am right here. I'm gonna be okay. It's gonna be great.
Hi, Xi. Here I leave you my version of the song. Just write me if you have questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Si se calla el cantor, calla la vida.
Porque la vida misma es todo canto. Si se calla canto, mueras tonto.
La esperanza,
La luz y la alegría. Si se calla el canto,
se quedan
solos los humildes gorriones diarios,
los
obreros
del pueblo se
persignan.
¿Quién habrá de luchar por su salario? Si se calla el cantor,
muere la rosa.
¿De qué sirve la
rosa sin el canto?
Debe el canto ser luz sobre los campos, iluminando siempre a los de abajo. Que no calle el cantor, porque el silencio cobarde apaña la maldad que oprime. No saben.
Si se calla el canto, calla la vida, porque la vida misma es todo canto. Si se calla el canto, muere la rosa, iluminando. If the singer goes quiet, this is a song, a gift from my friend Rocio. She says, if the singer goes quiet, life goes quiet, because the life itself is a song. If the singer stops singing, dies of fright, the hope, the light, and the joy. Si se calla el canto, if the singer goes quiet, the rose passes away. And what good is a rose without a song? If the singer goes quiet.
Hi, Xi. Here
Si se calla el canto, calla la vida, porque la vida misma es todo canto. Si se calla el canto, muere espanto, la esperanza, la luz y la alegría.
Hi. So I just went through your version. I think it's sounding really good.
Oh, good. Thank goodness. She liked it.
Pretty good before. First of all, it's called a zorge horseshoe. It's going to kill me. You keep saying zorge horseshoe.
Zorge horseshoe.
And with a lot of yours, so you go with the ha. Hopefully you'll kind of hear it out. But if it just says an H. It's supposed to be
H.
ha,
Ha.
not a ha.
Ha. Ha.
My voice is a bit gone, so I'm gonna sing it low. But you're doing great on your top. And just one general note, you're kind of going quickly on your beginning, and you're doing great on your ending. But it kind of needs its time in the beginning, so give it that too. I'm gonna mostly emphasize on that. سر اومد زمستون شکفته بهارون گل سرخ خورشید باز اومد و شب شد گریزون گل سرخ خورشید باز اومد و
شب شد گریزون کوها لاله زارن لاله ها بیدارن
کوها دارن گل 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 آفتابو میکارن کوها دارن گل 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 آفتابو میکارن توی کوهستون
درش میاره
تفنگ و
گل و گندم داره میاره
توی
سینش جان 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 توی سینش جان 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 یه جنگل ستاره داره جان جان یه جنگل ستاره داره اومد زمستون
ستاره داره
جان جان یه جنگل ستاره داره.
So I'm going to go through a general translation of the poem to kind of give you a sense of what's happening. I found something online. It's just like a line by line translation. But the line by line translation doesn't give you much, because if you look at it from a distance, it just seems to be a song about nature or jungle or different seasons or perhaps some sort of
اومد زمستون شکفته بهارون گل سرخ خوشی در اومد و شب شد گریزون زون کوها لاله زارن لاله ها بیدارن تو کوها دارن گر گر گر. Okay, all right. Right, you might be wondering what I'm doing right now. You might be very confused. What is it that you're looking at? Well, this is what I'm doing. This is exactly what I'm doing. What you're looking at is what I call the earworm workshop. It is this practice that I've devised especially for me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, maybe I should introduce myself first. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. I am the, the director of the Apology Embassy. First of all, what is an Apology Embassy? It is a research institute that works with public sectors and individuals to produce sophisticated, sincere, and well-crafted apologies. This is an open institute. All of you are very much invited to reach out, to tell me what you want. So basically what we do is that we believe, deep inside all of us, we know very clearly that sometimes people owe us an apology. We all know that. People do us wrong, people do silly things, and sometimes we're too polite to tell them exactly that. That's not okay, because this is a very urgent time that we're living in, and sometimes we require the cooperation and collaboration of a lot of people, much more than ourselves and just our friends. So this is absolutely crucial, and don't fret, because I'm here to fix the problem. However, well, let me give you a bit of a backdrop. I've set up the Apology Embassy from about a year ago. Now we're near bankruptcy. It's about to fold. Well, many great things have happened, and let me show them to you. First of all, this is the very first office that we have been in. Lovely, lovely place by Riverside Park. If you guys been there, you would recognize it. But we've got kicked out because we couldn't pay the rent. Well, you see, I used to be a very good apologist. I'm an excellent apologist. I apologize for everything. Systemic injustice, structural barbarism, all that stuff. Socialist apology to America, anything under the sun. If you get in touch with me, you get a good apology. Well, these apologies are announced daily at 10 a.m., and it was going well in the beginning for a while, and then it starts going down. Why is nobody getting in touch with me? Why are we not getting any public fundings? We are a research institute. It was frustrating. Well, this is me in the glorious days when I was still, producing apologies and stuff, and people look at me and they're like, oh, what's going on? And then people stop, they listen for a bit, and they're like, oh yeah, this is great, I want to listen more, I want to be part of this, right? So this is how we kind of, work the, it's very interested individuals. They're like, oh, what's that? Cool, what are you apologizing for? All that stuff. Well, good old days. See, this is my office. This used to be my office. We had an office in Columbia University, right in the Butler administrative building. Lovely picture of me. Short hair, but lovely. Oh gosh, these are the founders and philosophers that really developed the great apology, three-tier apology thing, which three-tier cosmology of a good apology, which I will go into, I promise. This is me being very contemplative. Oh, right. Anyways, before I go into that, well, you see, the problem is I'm facing a deep, deep crisis, right? People don't like the apology that I make. They don't, they don't want it anymore. And that's when I started to realize what I actually don't understand is that I actually have no good understanding of the entire process and the feeling and the emotional experience of reconciliation. So I've been missing the point completely. And who can you blame for getting kicked out by people when I don't understand the three-tier apology philosophy that I came up with has been a mistake. Instead of focusing on the outcome, I should have been focusing on the process. So what is the emotional experience of reconciliation? Now, that is something that I'm very interested in. And here, I've been very fortunate enough to be invited to the Jewish Museum. I mean, we literally rely on institutional support, and the Jewish Museum has very gracefully accepted us, me actually, just me, to work on myself. This is a sabbatical, and I'm going to get better at it. So, fret not, people. Apologies, very sophisticated. I've been talking to Chris, I've been talking to Jenna, and we've been going through some of the basic premise of the scenes of the collection and all that stuff, very good stuff. And so here's what I realized. What is exactly a good apology? Now, you see, if we go really way back to the Greeks, we all know who makes the best apology? Socrates. The Socratic apology is excellent. It goes into philosophical textbooks, but it got Socrates killed. So he actually made a fantastic defense, which he calls his apology, and the people of Greece basically voted him to die. So what you see, the problem here is that Socrates didn't realize, apart from a good defense, which is the fundamental aspect of a good apology, is also paying attention and tuning into the emotional experience of the one that you want, that the person who owes you an apology. So the real trick is, let's say I want Peter to make an apology to me, but he does not realize it. He does not understand what is it that he needs to apologize for. And yet I need Peter to be on board with me, because without him I cannot progress, and there's no reconciliation to talk of, right? So, well, in the very beginning, to just share my little experience myself, in my own process of investigating reconciliation, the first thing I did is to offend every single person that I know. Right? You can't go soft on yourself on this one. You have to go all the way. If you're devoted to reconciliation, you got to make everybody understand they've got a problem. All right? And if you're not saying it to them, they never know. So this is what you got to do. Go out, offend everybody, make sure reconciliation is the only thing left to do. And then you go all the way. You go all the way. That hasn't worked, though. Well, I think I'm only left with people who hate me and barely much friends, and to guide me and tell me what went wrong. Why is no one accepting my apologies? And then I realized grief and loss and all the terrible emotional experience cannot be reconciled and dealt with alone. You need friends. You need other people. You need other people to tell you stuff and listen to you, to process trauma together. And it's hard. How do you attract people to your trauma? It's hard. I promise it's hard. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows that. Anyway, so that's all wrong. I've decided to change my approach. So this is my approach now. Understanding Socrates died once for his apology. I'm not going to make the same mistake. Tuning in to the emotional experience of the one that owes you an apology is absolutely crucial. How do you do that? Well, you do that by listening to their songs. Why? Because the song is different from language. If I've been focusing too much on arguments, now I need to focus on the emotional context. It's not the information that people say that matters. It's what they feel. See? So that was the earworm workshop. It is using the songs of others to deeply change the emotional undercurrent of your favorite leading apologists. That is me. Anyways, this is to open the floor up, just in case, if you're interested in any particular song that I know, I'll be very glad to share. And if you have a song to teach me and allow me to practice with you, for me to tune into your emotional experience, I'll be very glad to. Put up your hands and let me know, come forth. I know I'm running short of time and I'm doing too much advertisement on my research institute that's about to go bankrupt. Let me just very quickly talk about my collaboration with the Jewish Museum. Well, I walked around the scenes of collection and it was all great. And then this wonderful sculpture by Robert Wilson, lovely. Guess what I see? This is a sculpture that's used in sets and theaters. But most importantly, what struck me is the fact that it's wrapped up in Chinese and Japanese newspapers. Why is that? Isn't that fascinating? So I asked and I pondered and asked myself, what's going on? And then I realized, I asked myself, so, and what are you doing here? Aren't you on some sort of an escape route as well? Isn't like migration something that's sort of moving around the notion of, anyway, before I get too emotional, we'll talk about this afterwards. All right, so this guy, very important. See? There's much more to be talked about, but maybe save for next time. Oh, right. And then we had a really good time trying to make out what exactly happened. Why is there Chinese characters in a Jewish, in a sculpture that depicts a Jewish golem? And Chris and I had this conversation, and he pointed out to me that this little bit here, down in Russia, during Stalin's time, is called the Jewish Autonomous Region that literally borders China. So then I'm like wondering, okay, Chinese characters in Jewish museum. So what about Jewish people in China? Are there any Jewish people in China? I did a bit of research. Appears there's tons of them. Actually, most of them are celebrities because they're so good looking for some strange reason. If you're Chinese, you know who I'm talking about. This woman, she's like the winner of some singing competition, and you have all these great people. Song Dan Dan 56, she is a comedian, excellent comedian, Jewish. All right, anyway, so the last thing I want to point out though, there's this guy, Zou Xi Xi Zhao. He was the official, and he worked for the emperor in the 14th century in China, and he actually speaks fluently Chinese and Hebrew. So he's been like making stone slabs that contain both languages, and anyway, it's much more mixed than I thought it was, and it was great. And that is all. That is all. That's my response. And if you want a response to me, come up, we'll have a drink, we can talk. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for having me.